I really don't see where it's popping up the dialog. We got this UI path. Alright, it's right there. Export Dashkin UI. Look for export effect UI. And this is just export data. We'll start basically just going through stuff. So we need like get information. I don't think we're actually gonna care at all about rigging objects, to be honest. Like, let's just export with the origin being the middle of the scene. It looks just, that'd be fine to me. So let me just start there. Let's just throw a whole bunch of this stuff out of our way. Find all displays, recursive, yeah. Just throw all this crap where we don't need it so we can actually isolate the execution flow of the script. So we have our export handler. Reuse frames, alright. Animation export to JSON. Just do all these things. So render every frame. I'm just taking a lot of stuff out that I have to look at. Update display list. Find all displays. I think we just want all the displays. And this is also not really the most interesting stuff ever, because I'm just kind of going through, and it's basically like we already know what we want to do. We just want to export the frames for the animation that's on the screen, and we want to get the data all in the right format. And I can't really describe everything because there's just a lot that we're already doing. So basically we're setting which display we're actually using and all that, so we can actually hook it up so you can pick the display that you want. Alright, well, let's just take a look here. So if I refresh everything, I think I also need to change this reload Dashkin thing. And add all the files. So let's manage these real quick. So I should be able to change the icon for this. God, it takes so long to open this thing up sometimes. Let's see, we should have export effect. Should show up here eventually. Well, this one shouldn't have a customized icon that's the same as the other one. What, both of them are the same button? What the hell are you talking about? Harmony can be really odd at times. With all this scripting stuff. because it's obviously using the wrong icon there for something. And it's not detecting that there are new scripts in there. It's just Harmony scripting stuff. It's just kind of so we just restart it, and yeah, there's our export effect actually showing up. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to change our export single frame script to have a different, it's going to be export single frame. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. So we should be able to go to export frame, export single frame entry point, and then customize this icon. And I'm betting it's because the name of the function is the same. It's doing some really stupid logic. No, it's just fucking broken. Well, Harmony, we'll try exiting again. Maybe you'll get unconfused as to what the hell is going on. Because it looks right here. If we hit OK, okay, now it works. Alright, Harmony. She just calmed down and like sit in the corner for a little while because obviously you're having a few problems and you don't want to talk to anybody about it. Okay, so if we've got our explosion dialog box, it pops up and it says, where do you want to export this? Which thing do you want to export? We've got display and display all, so we want to export display, and we're going to export like this. So where is it going to throw it? Well, we're at least making progress then. So export effect .js. So we are having problems with can't find variable name. Okay, it'd be nice if they actually told us where that is. I'm looking for this. It looks like this export animation to JSON with a name. I'm actually wanting to pass into render display. Alright, so we did export, and we exported it to this folder. So let's see what exactly we got going on here. Okay, it couldn't open any of that crap. So this is our sprite sheet. And our sprite sheet game. So we have 4 sprite sheets. We've got The width and height are big. The offset X and Y's are being set properly. Image index being set properly for all the frames. The problem, of course, is that we're exporting a whole hell of a lot of frames. So the question would be, is there any way for us to detect where there are no more frames for an animation pretty nicely? Let's take a look. So our image index is set to 1 for everything here. So basically everything after this frame 12 is all trash. So let's see, it's the crop center rect X tag. I'm basically trying to look through what Harmony has, and it basically calls us back with every frame ready with like the cell that was actually done. So it may be that the crop stuff here is used that we can actually take a look at. So we have these .sprite files, and I wonder where they're actually getting this resolution folder, frame pics. Alright, it should be. So like frame Dashkin sheet display game. So we have all these frames here. So let's see exactly what we're exporting. We're exporting like rect height and all that. Let's take a look at like expose 15 is an empty frame. What does its sprite look like? Rect height is 0, rect width is 0. So okay, we can definitely, the allocated rects here will be zeros. So we should be able to detect empty frames and drop them. So basically we want to grab like all these elements. Set his export animation to JSON. So let's take a look. Because this is where we're actually adding all the frames for everything. So we basically want to make a new animation frame for every frame in these group frames. These group frames are so we should be looking at like what is rect width and rect height. If frames sub index dot oh man, okay, so yeah, this is code that I copy pasted from their stuff, but basically it looks like I want to add the rect width and rect height, and it's in these sprite element attributes. So we have rect width and rect height, and we're definitely going to want these things here. Alright, so that should, let's test it out, make sure we got all of our information. 445 has got a, alright. So rect width and height are null. Which, like, where are they actually getting this information from then? This, I don't know, whoever wrote the scripts for the Harmony export stuff to begin with wrote them in such a ways. I just absolutely do not like how they wrote them. And I, of course, copy pasted from their scripts because I needed to have some frame of reference to start with. Yeah, like having really bad programming habits. Clever programming is never clever. I mean, is this where these things are actually getting exported, or are they getting exported somewhere else? Sprite sheet attributes. Well, Are the sheets getting deleted then? Is that what's going on? And we need to be reading something else. It just seems like we're not reading the right file. So we're finding a child element inside of the sprite sheet elements. So it's looking through all the rest of this stuff. Yeah, I think we're removing the XML file that this thing's actually reading afterwards. Yeah, so this isn't going to help us at all. It doesn't have the information that we want, which is how much was actually written, which is what we want is these crop things. So we want to see where the crop is used. Which it looks like it's never actually used anywhere. And we'd like that information, so this is going to be .00001 PNG. That's right, so alright, so let me just do var g frame crops. So let's see if that does it. I can grab what we want off of it. So rectangle width and height is 512 for these things until frame 14 where it's 0 forever. So basically we want to find where there's nothing else. This rect width and height that we have is 0, and we want to just stop adding frames at that point. Because like there's no more information, so no more frames. If you want to have empty frames at the end, just like why? The animation's over, right? Just like, I guess if you wanted it to loop with a bunch of empty information. In which case, just make the last frame something else. Alright, so what we want to do is for var I equals 0, I is less than, actually I want JSON document.inframes.length. I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. I'm going to say var frame equals JSON document in frames sub I. This should be mframes.length minus 1. So what we're going to do, if frame dot rect width equals 0 and frame dot m rect height equals 0, then we want to remove this thing. So dot pop. And we want to continue. Otherwise, we want to break. And what should happen is this will go through from like the back of this thing, and as soon as if something is 0, it'll pop it off, and if it encounters something non-zero, it'll stop popping things. And that's what we got right here, which is the final frame is frame 12 because it actually has stuff in it, and we're good to go. So remember, frames is 12, in frame is -1. So what would we want to do with this? We'd want maybe the export to take the name of the thing. Let's remove some of this debugging stuff that we don't need. So the sprite sheet again looks like this, which is not what it should look like, is it? Like, it should be our white sprite. So why is it grabbing this like sheet display PNG? Is that what it actually looks like? I mean, that actually does look like the animation as it would be. I'm guessing it's not rendered or something? Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so it is rendering it properly. Cool. And it's rendered at a much higher resolution than it needs to be. Okay, cool. So what we'd want to do here is have a display for every effect that we want for this thing. So let's see, how do we make a display? I can just copy paste this, right? And then just call this What is this effect? This is spark. Let's just call this thing spark. Name spark is invalid. Let's just do spark. So I can switch to spark display. And when I export, I can just do spark display. And it'll export it like this. So we should probably have something in here again where we can name these things nicely. So if we put it like effect spark, or maybe FX or something shorter, so why don't we just call it FX spark? And that looks cool. So we'll save that, and I think what we can do is go into our script and we can kind of strip that out. Need all displays as a thing. So let's start off by adding all animations as a thing here. So we'll be able to do that, and then we should so we're going to need a name for the effect as well as all the other things. So if the render display is all anims, then what we're going to want to do is we're going to say rendering all valid effects. So yeah, I'll update my information real quick there. Say we're just doing sprite exports from Harmony. And of course we're not doing anything that looks pretty. We're doing stuff that we need. Do we actually need to be on all the displays to export all displays? I don't think so. I think that was mainly like I couldn't find rigging objects. So to be honest, we should just do rendering all valid effects, and we need to find all the displays, and Alright, so if the fx display tag equals 0, then anim displays dot push. And this is going to be effect displays. So we're going to need like a var effect displays equals new array, and we're going to add to it here. Otherwise, we are going to check all we're going to do is effect displays dot add or dot push render display. And then what we do is for var I equals 0, I is less than effect displays dot length I plus plus. We're going to just say var current display equals effect displays sub I, and then we just call this like export to Dashkin. We'll do a message log dot trace, and we're going to say attempting to export effect. So we have current display and we have the name of it, effect name. And the effect name should be the effect display that substring, and we should be doing this thing, the effect dot length. So it'll start at that. So we should be doing for effect name, and we got current display and effect name. So it'll loop over all the effects and all that stuff. So let's see, where is this export to Dashkin? The name is so I think that should be good for all these things. Get information for animation and all that. So let's see, we have effects spark. Let's reload our scripts and then see what we can actually do. So for this guy, it should basically hit the render button, and we should have all animations display and spark. We should not have display. So we want like our get all displays. Where are we getting our displays? Alright, so we want if index displays tag is 0, find all displays for every display. If display dot index of this thing does not equal 0, then continue. So what we should get now is we shouldn't see anything in here except for FX Spark, and we export all animations, rendering all valid effects. Cannot reference variable effect display. Yeah, it's because it's effect displays. This is current display. So let's try it again. So this should take Spark and export it as Spark instead of FX Spark. And here we are with Spark game and our deal. Looks like we've got all the right frames and all that fun stuff. So what we want to do is we want to hook up some other effects here. and make sure we're able to export them as well. So let's make another. So which one is this from? This is from Elect Impact. So we'll so let's call this one FX Dust Skid. We can chuck this in here as well. This will be effects barrel explosion. Let's call this one FX dust explosion. And what we'll be able to do then is export, all this stuff. He's got flashes here set up. I don't know how he's got it set up. I'm not even gonna try. Let's just do FX flashes. These are the non-graphic flashes. They're graphics, but they're not graphics. This will be FX energy buildup. This will be FX spark. No, we already have a spark. Now this is a Lex impact, not spark. So we need FX spark. I mean FX electric impact. This is always the best. We are making progress in tedious rigging, which is my favorite thing to do ever, which is make more complex crap for Adam to deal with. Like, hey, so you can totally export effects now. Great, cool, awesome, how do I do it? 4 hours later, I don't understand any of this crap. Like, that means I did my job. Is this gonna be PX flame? I have no idea what the difference is. We got like flame sprite, and we've got the other one. Let's do flame sprite and then just flame. This will be ball spawn. So I'll save this, and then I should be able to export, and should have everything on here. So if we just do all animations, we should get a whole bunch of different stuff. No, I'm just saying my job is to make his life more difficult, not to help. That's always how it works. Alright, so theoretically we exported everything. Let's go take a look at it. So we've got like dust explosion. We've got, let's just delete everything. And let's do another export. But you have to put a smile on your face. Yes. I'm gonna just export this at 512 by 512 for everything. Oh, well this is actually going to generate like all sorts of horrible things, isn't it? Like we have one frame at a time here. That's not what we want. Okay, cool. So when we export these, what I think I more want is like this 2048 by 2048. Because he made really high resolution sprites for me. That's what was going on. It's the scene resolution that I can turn down. So these guys turn out more looking like this. So let's just take a quick look through at